started to do a little bit of work on this 1986. Well, actually, it's a 1985, but it's an 86 model Kawasaki kx250 yesterday. And when I'd first pushed her over with my hand, I thought that she had reasonable compression. And then when I went to try and get her started last night, she didn't feel as though she had compression at all. So anyway, I've just whipped the top off, and that'll be the reason. Looks like she's been running a bit lean. Not sure if you remember me doing any little video of this one or not, but this is a 1986 model kx250. And I'd had a look at it, and it was low compression. And when I looked more closely into it, there was actually a hole in the piston. Now then, yes, there we go. That was the piston that came out of it. So it was difficult to work out the part number on the piston because it had melted away. So I measured the diameter of the piston, and I ordered the next size up, which is this, and it's 71mm piston. So the standard bore would be 70, and this is a 71, so it's 1mm over. So I believe that the melted one would have been a 70.5. There we go. So that's the new piston, and I've had the barrel rebored to the correct clearance, which is stated on the box there, 20 thou over. It's a 20 thou clearance it needs. The head, the exhaust side of the head, there was a massive buildup of melted aluminium, which I just started picking at it with my nail, and most of it came off, and then I've lightly filed it where the aluminium was. It was built up all around here, all around this section. I've lightly filed it, and that's all come off, and that's all good. So there's been no damage to the head at all. I just want to check, so the main bearing, so the crank bearing, the big end bearing, a lot of people get hold of the conrods and they think that there's a bit of side-to-side movement, so therefore there must be play. It's not that at all. There is side-to-side movement, there always is. What you're looking for is up and down movement. So when I grab this and I try and move the rod up and down, there is no play there whatsoever. So the main bearings don't need replacing. I will obviously be replacing the little end bearing. You just do that as a matter of course. I'm going to blow this out with the airline to get any bits and pieces out of there. It's been stored with a rag in there, so nothing could fall in. And then I'm going to stick the new piston onto the rod, new barrel on, new gaskets obviously, new barrel on, reboard barrel on, and build it back up, which shouldn't take too long, and then we'll see if we can get it running. So there's the head bolts, little head nuts, tightened down to 18 foot-pounds or 25 newton meters, which is what the service book calls for, and the barrel nuts, they're tightened down to 25 foot-pounds. 25 foot-pounds is about 35 newton meters. So these will need checking again once the bike's been run for any period of time. Obviously it's the first Titan, so that's what will need to happen. So I'll just go ahead with, there's some other bolts that go in the front of the head there. I'll get them put in. I'll get the engine mount put in, put the water hoses in, inlet manifold on, and then I would have thought I would have cleaned this carb actually, but obviously I haven't. So I'll get the carb cleaned as well, and then we should be pretty much ready to go. A couple of little points to note as I'm just doing the finishing building the top end on this bike. I've the inlet manifold, so it has some cracks on it. It's not cracked all the way through, but I would recommend that is replaced. And the silencer as well. I don't know exactly what's happened there. I mean, they've put this this piece of rubber to connect the two pipes together. I'm going to see if I've got anything that'll fit to go on there, but really that needs replacing as well. So I've just cleaning the carb, put the exhaust on, this, that and the other, and thought, oh, best change the gearbox oil there. So took the sump plug out, and that's the gearbox oil. So a little bit of coolant came out first of all. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to whip the side off the side of the clutch cover off and the water pump off, and then see what the situation is in there. I've got a water pump seal, so if it's just that, then I can sort that out. And I've got a clutch cover gasket as well, so I'll crack on with that. You can see there that the seal is knackered, and what they've done is they've tried to repair it with like gasket goo. So I'll take the clutch cover off now and put the proper seal in, and then I'll do the kickstart seal as well, and then that should sort that job out. And then what I'll do is I'll put diesel in the gearbox, so that'll clear out the nasty emulsified oil, and once it's run for a little bit and warmed up and warmed through and everything, then that'll need changing. I won't change it, I'll sell it before that needs doing. So whoever buys this bike, you'll need to run it a little bit, make sure the diesel gets warmed up inside the gearbox, and then drain the gearbox oil and swap it for your favourite gearbox oil. I personally choose ATF. While I've been stripping this water pump down and everything like that, I've noticed on the inside of this case there's been a previous repair with what looks like JB weld or some kind of putty or whatever, and also on the underside there's some gasket sealant. So I suspect that there is a crack in this case. I'm not going to take it back. I'm not going to take the JB weld out because it wasn't leaking before, so I'm assuming it's not going to leak again. But this would be something that you would really need to be looking into, maybe stripping this case back, getting it welded up, or alternatively trying to find a new case, or a used case really, because there is a possibility that this case has got a crack in it. So I'm going to seal this up with instant gasket when I've done putting the fresh water pump seal and the kickstart seal in. Just, you know, it just might help just a little bit instead of using a traditional gasket.